Marvel Rivals, the newest game in the hero shooter genre, the so-called Overwatch killer. Now, we'll get into that, but Marvel Rivals has recently just released fully, and everyone's loving it, at least from what I've heard. Everyone is really enjoying the game because it's fresh, it's something new, it's made changes to the hero shooter genre that it's not an Overwatch clone. It's not Overwatch but Marvel. It's its own game. It has its own identity. It does things that Overwatch can't. It has the recognizability from this billion-dollar franchise of heroes. It's insane how good the beginning of this game is looking. It appears to have a bright future, but the question is, does it have the potential to kill Overwatch? Well, first, speaking of the hero genre, there has been a recent failure, or killing of a game recently, Concord. Now, that game did get murdered. Well, it didn't really get murdered by anything, it kind of just sat there and died. But it's a example of a failure in the hero shooter genre. And it's an example of basically what not to do with a hero shooter game. But I think Concord failed because the characters and honestly the game kind of sucked. I don't think Overwatch is gonna die because of Marvel Rivals. Now, Overwatch has been steadily, steadily kind of falling off and is way past its peak in, fun, joy, happiness. I mean, I played Overwatch for quite a while with a few of my friends, and I had a good time because it was all new to me. It was my first time playing. But after a while, it got stale. I mean, all the characters kind of feel the exact same to me, at least. And, well, all the characters in the same role. But it kind of just felt like, I don't know, it just wasn't fun anymore. It got boring after a while. And even when I'm playing with friends, it's just stale. And especially when the new content is locked behind a paywall for the first entire season of it being out, all the new content is basically unobtainable unless you pay money. Like, playing these new heroes in this game is completely impossible without handing Blizzard your credit card. Which is absurd and is not a mistake Marvel Rivals will make. Marvel Rivals, on the other hand, has all of their characters completely free from the beginning, even the new ones, I'm pretty sure. We've only seen a few characters get released, but they've all been available to use for completely free. Which also makes it easier to sell cosmetics, because everyone has every character to begin with. It also allows for them to try out any character they want and find the perfect characters to suit their playstyle. Which I personally really like. And we're not gatekeeping new content, and we're not gatekeeping the sort of overpowered heroes like Overwatch does and continues to do. It's just, Overwatch kinda sucks. And if it were to die, it wouldn't be because of Marvel Rivals. If anything, Marvel Rivals should be an example for Overwatch. To kind of put them in the right direction, and hopefully it could lead to Overwatch becoming better and having, just doing better and becoming the game that it used to be. Becoming that fun game that you could basically play any role, it didn't matter, and still have a really good time. Especially, this is in Marvel Rivals, even if you're playing support or tank and not a DPS, you can still get insane amounts of kills. And, like, unlike Overwatch, where most of the supports don't really have that option for murder, in Overwatch, sometimes I get more kills as a support than a DPS. Or I get more kills as a tank who is supposed to be the spongy, dies a lot, takes a lot of the damage, but you actually are able to obtain a lot of kill. Obviously, it's easier to get an insane kill streak with a DPS, but instead of telling the player that, oh, if you play this role, you really don't get kills that much, and you kind of have less fun, they just let them have a good way to be both a supporting teammate who can heal and not just play DPS all the time, and have a good time by having really high damage. Like Adam Warlock, for example. He's a really good healer, but as well, he's a really good DPS. Like, he is insane with the amount of damage he can put out in a few seconds. I'm pretty sure with one of his charged up things, he can almost one-shot a DPS, which is insane to me as a support/strategist kind of hero. But that's an element that I like out of Marvel Rivals. No matter what role you play, you're still having fun. It's still fun to play these characters. I mean, most times, everyone still just choose DPS, and you'll have a team of 5 DPS and 1 support. But that's not their fault. I mean, I've heard people say they want role queue, but I don't know if it's necessary. It might kill the kind of freedom of being able to choose whatever character you want, even if it's gonna completely destroy your entire team. But role queue has its uses, but I don't think it belongs in Marvel Rivals. And I don't really think it's needed in Overwatch either. I personally think role queue should only be in ranked, just because that's a little more serious, especially in Marvel Rivals. The ranked makes me want to die. But on to the next kind of section here. I don't think Marvel, as I said before, reiterating what I said, I don't think Marvel Rivals has the potential to kill Overwatch. Do I think Marvel Rivals is better than Overwatch? Completely 100%, and if you're mad at that, leave a mean comment below. But I do think Marvel Rivals is a better game, especially with all the features that they added. It's not, as I said before, it's not an Overwatch clone. It's its own thing. It's its own game. I mean, especially with the team-ups, which incentivize playing support characters, because all these DPS heroes or tanks have a team-up with a support. So it's encouraged to have a support be played by another player, or switching from a DPS to a support to help your team. I personally really like the team-up system, because as I just said, it encourages other ranks, other roles that are not DPS. And it helps kind of even out not needing role queue. Like, it's a substitute, I feel, at least. And also, the team-ups are really cool. It's a really cool idea. I mean, they could be a little more interactive with your teammates, like actually having to work together, but the actual team-up idea, and some of the team-ups are quite good, and team-ups are actually insanely powerful, and they can honestly make a character go from sort of, like, kind of useful to, like, one of the best characters you've ever played. Like, for example, Spider-Man is a team-up with Venom, which he gets an extra little symbiote burst, which can allow Spider-Man to do a combo which one-shots almost every DPS and makes him one of the best characters in the game, as long as you know how to use him. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the team-ups are useful. Yeah. And it encourages users to have multiple heroes that they're good at, so they can switch on the fly to support their team. And instead of maining just one hero, like most people do in Overwatch, you have multiple mains that you know how to play and you can actually do good with. That's why I also like their difficulty ratings. Like, there's 5-star heroes like Spider-Man, which are really hard to wrap your head around. And then there's 1-star, I don't actually know a 1-star example, but Punisher. Punisher's really easy, but he can still do as much damage as Spider-Man. I don't know what I'm saying. But I like how there's an entry spot for beginners, and there's advancements for advanced players. Alright. Yeah. Can you tell this is the first video? But on the next note, I personally think cosmetics are also gonna do better in Marvel Rivals, and are definitely gonna make a ton more money. I mean, even if they're overpriced, they're gonna make a lot more money than Overwatch. Because instead of being a lot of just recolors of other skins, and also you can't see your skin in Overwatch. The only thing you can really see is your weapon, your not weapon attachments, your weapon charms. You can't see your skin. Oh, I saw my hands, they're a different color. But in Marvel Rivals, it's in third person, you can see your character. So having costumes that are recognizable from comics and movies, it's a lot more worth it because you can see the actual skin you bought for $30. But I think cosmetics will also make a lot, as I just yeah. But yeah. I personally do think Marvel Rivals is a better game than Overwatch. It will not kill Overwatch, at least I don't think. But it's definitely better than Overwatch. And with that, this first video of mine here is over. Now, was it kind of off topic for the entire thing? A little bit. But we kind of stayed on topic, right? But this is my first video on this channel. And it was kind of a mix of me talking about Marvel Rivals and having a kind of overall goal at the end. And having a conclusion and answer. Which is important for a video like this. I don't know why I'm explaining my technique that got you to click on the video. Alright. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. If you want to see more stuff from me, hopefully I'll actually upload. Subscribe with notifications to get notified as soon as anything from me gets released. And with that, goodbye.